Oofus, doofus, Rufus. Oofus, Rufus, Oofus.
Who in the heck is Oofus, Rufus, Oofus?
I don't know. I don't know the answer. Anyway, let's see a fan. Two fans talk about secret elements in the Hutchison effect apparatus by George Hathaway. So anyway, let me start with radioactivity. I forget the guy's name, but we used to hang out scrounging together in the houses in North Vancouver. That was in the 70s. What part of the 70s, I don't know. But these are all abandoned houses that were bought up, and when you could go in them and search through them, and the police said, "Don't break any windows, though." Okay. So that was always there's rows, and I think it was on 3rd Street, 4th Street, North Vancouver. One house had a basement full of rocks. Not piled up, but all thrown all over the place. And oddly, this sounds crazy and schizophrenic, of course, but I was drawn to one rock. I stuck it in my pocket. And then I found it sat there maybe a year or two on the shelf at 1458 East 29th Street, Lynn Valley, North Vancouver. Sat there on a shelf for a number of years. Then I got a Geiger counter, started getting electrical machinery in and all that stuff, building Tesla coils. And disruptive discharge transformers, and acquiring a lot of weird things. I studied deeply the Colorado Spring notes of Tesla and got into his mind as well as his autobiography and other things. But I was always reading about vintage scientists and discoverers of things like Henry Hertz and Marconi and Steinmetz and all those guys. Anyway, for some reason, so I inherited a Geiger counter, got to replace the 45B battery, as they used to call them, with 9-volt batteries. You get 45 volts for plate current. I started playing with, oh yeah, background radio, oh yeah, radioactive knob. Then I went around and, ooh, this is weird. And I discovered the rock. Oh, okay. So it's always sort of been laying around. And as I progressed into doing stuff with vintage electrical machinery, as it's called, and Chaos Mod electrical machinery supplied me with a lot of goodies. The effect, I felt inspired to build a spiral spark gap. What that is, a flat piece spring, like a flat spring, but very laid out, kind of hard to describe it. It was part of something that got a Chaos Mod. Spiral spark gap, as George Hathaway named it. I built that around the uranium source. Uranium what it was. I know it was picked up by the Canadian government people, but I put it inside of a chunk. Okay, it was a ball valve I took apart one time, and it fit in there perfect, and I machined out a slight window in it. So it had a very thin window, actually a little hole to help it more as I gauge the count of radioactivity. Normal kind of, what do you call it, rock stuff, you know, nothing too dramatic. This stupid intuition of mine sometimes. Is it gonna stay there? I guess not. I'll go and move it here. Just these ideas, are pretty nutty, I must say, right? Right. But as years pass, demonstrations happened and that kind of thing. You gonna stay there? Yeah. It always stays within the working machinery as well as this. Although taken away by the Canadian government because of PCB, polychlorinated biphenyls, and all this stuff that happened trying to ship it to Germany. The cargo container broke or was sabotaged or something like that, and then Richard Glue Environment Canada of course gave me all my machine guns and stuff back, as well as most of the electronic stuff. But all the high voltage stuff went way of ministry secretly builds PCB site in British Columbia, which has made news all over the place. Okay, now I look Klingonish. So when I started up the apartment adventure, I managed to accumulate some radium chloride. After all, a lot of those old radio knobs were glowing. And here's an example of them. They're all defunct now. Something I did made them go down, but there's one that's still active. I don't know why that is, but it is. Huh? Is this one or one over here? These things are meant to glow in the dark. So, I acquired another source, like I mentioned before. Put it in the field, build a spiral spark gap, a smaller version. I don't think the Germans got that. I don't know what happened to that thing, but you can sort of see it in some of the TV footage. I don't think the German folks got that. But anyway, the only person that really knew or felt something was with that was Dr. Harold Wilson of Defense Region Establishment Pacific. He's trying to convince Dr. Lauren A. Kuhn that what happens is that this adds the extra push energy to the effect. It stores up energy and it releases it. Interesting concept. I'm not a scientist, not a physicist, okay? I just see stuff in my head and do it.
Yeah, I know.
So I never wrote notes down. Why would I write notes down? I'm not trying to prove anything. It's just I'm interested in vintage electrical machinery and see what it does do, huh? Like all this stuff. I found all kinds of fun things with this stuff. I'm getting there. Guy can make another trip for scrapyard. So I should go over here. Oh yeah, so see, I'm vintage anything really. 'Cause I get chastised quite a bit when I'm working on other things. Like, why not? I like working on other things. I remember Alex Pizarro said before a very important demonstration for I think it was SAIC. I was working on a pinfire revolver, restoring it at the time. He said, you shouldn't be doing that. You should get ready to do this stuff. So that was Alex Pizarro. He'd always get angry sometimes, but I said, oh well. Although I was making power cells for the Japanese and working on the warships, but I do it in the evening, and it wasn't that difficult for me to build Mr. Yamabe-san these power cells, which he took to Japan and demonstrated them to his investors. He's had multi-millions. But I don't know what happened to him. Everything went blank after 2 trips to Japan. The last time I saw him, years later, 2004, he came and wanted me to come back to Japan. I said, okay, sure. He said, I contact you, and he took, what was it? He took photocopies of stuff. I was with Corinne at the time. But yeah, she met him. Corinne Tyson. Girlfriend I had for a couple of years. And I was doing the Ark of the Covenant Revealed for Bruce Burgess Blue Book Films, and Mr. Yamabe took photos or copies of all the stuff or whatever it was. It's quite a surprise to see him after all those years, and he'd vanished. 2004, around 2002 or 1, I was with Thomas Messer, who sponsored me for $250,000 to build these things, which I did do. But Yamabe only stayed 1 day, and I didn't really say anything to anybody about it. I had a lot of business partners that I'm still friends with, by the way. Thomas is supposed to visit sometime here, and maybe Colonel John Alexander might. He indicated he wanted to a couple of years ago. Then COVID struck and everybody got shut up into their boxes. And on the long and the short, atomic energy stuff. I don't think that I know of anybody else that mentioned that besides Dr. Harold Wilson. Although it's written up in the Texas. Other secret elements were magnetic fields, I guess, like I mentioned the other day with traveling wave tube. Variable magnetic fields. Pretty strong stuff. Besides all that, I mean, what the hell? Los Alamos is working with antimatter. Good scientists to study is Dr. Robert Ford and Ken Shoulders. If you can find info on them, let me know. So I made this garish looking thing today. Jeez, talk about nuts. It's a box that holds these things. Big gauges. Well, that's how nutty I am. I said, oh well, they gotta go somewhere, so I'll make a box for them. And mount them and make them, paint them gray and make it look like an engine room. Tell ya, I'm totally insane, by the way. Crazy as a loon.
I'm crazy as a loony.
Loony bin, man. Loony bin. So I'll take care of those things. I really had to live without them. You know, it's just one of those crazy things I do. I don't know. I got another one over here. I'm on. It's submarine gauges. How many feet of water? This is good for 700 feet. Okay. And these, I think, are more or less. Let's see. They're good for same number, 700 feet. I think they're heavy. They're nice and heavy metal. So they'll look good in this display of mine. Then I'm passing time, of course, and waiting for metal to arrive to finish this off. Never ending. And yesterday I was going about my, oh John, where's my binoculars? And that's when I found the black glasses. Flat binoculars. World War II, Germany. And inspired me to move stuff around again today. I put the periscope in there. It's in a wooden box, and I thought, I might as well stick it in there. In the armory. It's a big, heavy periscope. I think I'm 110 pounds, something like that. Unknown use. Oh, maybe it was used in a conning tower, a warship. Never thought of that angle. I know I have Mark 74 Honeywell gun sights that were used in that area as well. I buy them off eBay because they don't sell. And they sit there for years, and I look around, scrounging around on Virtual Scrounger. Virtual Scrounger. Prices slowly drop and drop. Then I just I'll write the seller and say, "Will you open offers on any of this stuff? I just need something for an ornament." Let's say yes or no. Although I get them for $50. I'm like I don't know, just waiting around and. I always double check everything. There's one guy that offers free shipping on a lot of cool stuff. Yeah, free shipping. Hope I'm recording. I would be stupid if it wasn't, huh? I am recording. Don't take a flying leap like you like to do. So how many of you folks out there have issues with doctors? I've got a slight issue with my new doctor. I should go back to the old one. And anyway, I won't go there. Almost tempted to go back to the old doc.
Hi, doctor.
Oh God. Well, anyway, I did an hour cleanup because I'm making a lot of sawdust and other things for a while. And got that all done with a vacuum cleaner. Little Johnny vacuum cleaner. Here's a good stand right here on this lathe, I presume. I think so. Around this way. Didn't I do this one? I don't know. Oh, this post. Wait a minute, this one's got a post. Keeps falling off. I don't know, but it's got something extrusion on it for the iPad.